All right, so I was talking to a young lady earlier, and she asked me some questions. I thought was funny. I guess it's psychology questions, but anyways, um she mentioned something about Joe Rogan, and I couldn't. I'm like, who the heck is that? Now I know who this person is. Now here's the thing: I don't watch Joe Rogan. I've heard of him in the YouTube space. Um, I'm trying to figure out where I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna watch some because I don't know nothing about the guy and why that was a big deal. Why specifically that question was asked, especially towards me. So is he like another Andrew Tate or something? Why do women get? I don't. Well, I'm not gonna get into that because I think people today in today's society always try to find something to be offended by. But I don't know. Let's find out who what he's about. Now this is the top 20 heated moments on the Joe Rogan Experience. This is from Watch Mojo. Now I do watch a couple of their videos. Um, it's been a while, so I they're pretty good at being in the middle of the road, so to speak, and just speaking facts and the experiences of other people. Now, this is 21 minutes long, so I'm probably not gonna watch the whole thing, but I want to get familiar to see what's going on with this guy. These are 20 heated moments on the Joe Rogan Experience. Okay, so let's watch, peeps.
I watched a scary movie with him.
I'm gonna have to shut this podcast
Not
off.
yet.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 heated moments on the Joe Rogan Experience.
I think I just know better. They're
Bro,
outraged.
you're fighting with someone who's not even here.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most intensely confrontational conversations on the podcast. What do you make of each side's arguments? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20, Eddie Bravo. Martial arts instructor Eddie Bravo is a popular reoccurring guest on the Joe Rogan Experience, made famous by his outlandish conspiracy theories. In this case, he's discussing nuclear bombs. Bravo, Rogan, and fellow guest Brendan Schaub discuss the conspiracy theory that nukes are fake and that no one has ever actually gone off. Bravo brings up some bizarre questions. Everyone talks over each other, and Rogan claims that Bravo is wasting everyone's time by arguing against their existence.
You're going down a rabbit hole for no reason. You're wasting all this time. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? I don't need to know.
What do you
can
care
watch
about
a
me
fucking
wasting my
nuclear
time?
bomb going
Well,
off.
I could waste my time on whatever. Why are
you
you so
want to?
concerned? Why are you so concerned about me wasting my time?
Because you waste our time too.
Even the usually mild-mannered Jamie Vernon gets in on the action and raises his voice against Bravo. Everyone's worked up, and the bickering makes for some delightfully awkward entertainment.
I mean, if you want the answers, you can go get them. It's not just question the
This is
world.
why it's frustrating, because you don't want the answers. You just want to question everything that the, in air quotes, government says.
Number 19, Joey Diaz.
Okay,
And
That's
this is
weird.
it. This is it because it's time.
What?
We're not taking it no more.
Stand-up comedian Joey Diaz is another reoccurring guest on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he has been since the podcast's early days. Rogan brings up the idea of controversial jokes in the midst of the Me Too movement and asks Diaz if he's noticed a change in the comedic landscape. Diaz almost immediately gets heated, goes red in the face, and starts defending the use of creative freedom in comedy. He also claims that it's too late for him to stop using certain offensive words, as he grew up when they were widely used. There's no real argument here. It's just Diaz going off for 5 minutes about something that he is clearly very passionate about.
There's always
they're
that
trying
one
to
comic
be shocking.
that wants to be shocking. No, I'm not here to be shocking. I'm here to tell you how I see it. You want to hear how I see it? This is how I see it.
Number 18,
I'm gonna say something. Listen, I grew up in the '90s, so I always use this term that everyone's looking for something to be offended by. I don't know where that came from. I don't even know why my generation is doing that crap. Listen, we talked about your mama fat, your mama still fat, and she's gonna stay fat. Okay, we talked about your mama. Nobody was making a big deal canceling and throwing people in jail and all this other crap. Talking about your mama, you did two things. A couple things, I guess. But the main ones was you fought it out, or you just ran back at the person. Or, if you like myself, just ignore the shit and said, well, okay, my mama's fat, and what's up? I mean, what else? Like, I just ignore the shit. But that's just an example. But it's like, even in comedy no longer is even funny now because you can't say certain things. You can't talk about this type of group of people. Talk about this group of people, they get offended. When did anyone get offended during comedy? If you don't like comedy, don't watch it. But I don't know.
Jan Irvin. We're going way back for this one. Episode 119 was released on July 5th, 2011, and featured both Brian Redman and Jan Irvin. Irvin is another conspiracy theorist, and he hoped to speak to Rogan about some of his beliefs. Irvin got very academic with it and brought along tons of citations and sources, but it was all a little too much for the host.
Dude,
that's why you need to get a Twitter.
You go too far. You go too far. You go too far down to this guy, that guy. I got to take notes on names.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like, honestly, to me, it's like you start saying all these names and stuff, and I'm so confused because I don't know any of these
names.
Me.
Fans claim that Rogan got irritated with the conversation and that he essentially tuned out after a while. This is quite a contentious episode of the Joe Rogan Experience as fans debate the merits of Irvin's arguments and Rogan's treatment of him. Number 17.
Okay.
Kurt Metzger. The recipient of numerous Emmy nominations, Kurt Metzger found great success writing for the sketch comedy program Inside Amy Schumer. Schumer came under fire in the mid-2010s and was accused of plagiarizing jokes from other comedians. This is brought up during Metzger's appearance.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. Matter of fact, I can probably go find a video on that. Someone made, and I don't know if it's still up or not, but someone made a video of Amy Schumer. She didn't copy the joke word from word, but she basically took someone's joke and kind of created it into her own. It's kind of almost like, oh man, I want to say it's kind of like how you do a parody sometimes. So everybody knows the famous line, "You got knocked the fuck out," from Friday. But there's also been people who've taken that line and done some twists and turns with it. But it's from Friday. And that's what Amy Schumer's done, is basically take other people's jokes, changed it a little bit, tweaked it a little bit, and to make it into her own joke. And someone made a very good compilation on this. So there is some truth in that. I'm not saying, basically, the jokes that she makes are not technically original. Now, I don't know if that's a thing in the comedian world. I would say that the person that made this video did a very good job at making this video, because they took what she said and they referenced to what other comedians have said, and it's like, whoa. She did take that man's joke and literally twisted it into her own. Woo, but okay.
Appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, and it results in quite the argument.
Hey, I'm not going to them to the sheriff. Wait. I'm not going to them. They're coming to me.
Metzger passionately defends Schumer from the accusations, while Rogan contends that her jokes bore close resemblances to those of other comedians. Metzger is clearly fired up, and Rogan even tells him to chill out and stop being so confrontational.
Dude, relax.
I drank two caveman nitros, and you're talking to me this way.
Whether it was the energy drinks or just unfiltered emotion, this conversation is rapid and intense. Okay. Number 16, Michaela Peterson. Joe Rogan is deeply into health and exercise, so it makes sense that he speaks passionately on the subject. His guest in the episode is Michaela Peterson, a podcaster and the daughter of famous psychologist and internet celebrity Jordan Peterson. Peterson argues that overweight individuals don't have the energy to exercise.
Okay, I know who Jordan Peterson is. I would say this. I know who Jordan Peterson is. Very great, a great guy. Very great guy. So he said that fat people. I hate to say this, but that's kind of true. That is true. I mean, I remember dating a woman who was complaining about going up my steps. Literally, she was always complaining. And she literally would say, I'm out of breath. I'm like, you out of breath? Yeah, I had to walk all those steps. Obviously, there's some truth to that. I will tell you right now, hell, matter of fact, when I started working at DHL, it's been a long time. I've been so sedative, not doing anything for like a whole almost year and a half, 2 years. I started working at DHL. That kicked my ass. I was out of breath. I was sore. And I don't even fat. But you get out of shape if you're not continuously working. So it's true. So, well, that's okay.
Some of them maybe, but I think some of them just don't have discipline. There's an issue with that as well.
Yeah.
Rogan vehemently disagrees and goes on a feverish tangent about discipline. He argues for the merits of focus and forced adherence to routine. And he believes that those who don't exercise often make excuses.
That's true. Hell, look, I don't even have a 6-pack. And I will tell you right now, and I'm just going to be blunt, I should have a 6-pack. But I say I don't want to, but it's because it's an excuse. I guess I'm confused now. We're not only 5 minutes in. I'm confused about this guy. Maybe I should have asked for more context, which I should have. Specifically, what was it about this guy that, because it seemed like there was a red flag or something when it was brought up about the guy. Like I said, I haven't heard anything about his podcast. I don't even watch his podcast. Haven't even seen anything. I just know, like I said, I know of it. I think I've seen clips of it, but I didn't see or hear anything. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I'm confused as to why that's an issue, but I have to get more context to see.
People like to give themselves this excuse. I do not have the energy to do this.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's an excuse.
If you decide that, that's true.
Yeah.
It's quite a lengthy argument, and Rogan never quite sees eye to eye with Peterson, who remains steadfast in her own opinion. Number 15.
I don't know what her opinion was.
Tom DeLonge. Blink-182's Tom.
Did I? Oh yeah. Well, that's kind of stupid. Well, both of those are true. Fat people are not going to have the energy because they're out of shape. But at the same time, if you notice the people who do lose weight, go talk to them and they will tell you that they had to have discipline, and it was fucking hard. But they had discipline, they had focus, and they had a support group. So I'm confused by, okay, I don't, maybe I'm too big brain for this shit. I don't know. All right, let's go. Let's continue.
DeLonge is a big believer in extraterrestrial activity and discussed UFOs at length on the podcast.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it seems like Rogan wasn't having any of it.
Where are you getting this from?
Well, take a wild guess. Look at the people I'm surrounded by, you know.
So the people you're surrounded by are telling you this? Is that what it is?
Some fans are of the opinion that Rogan was rude towards DeLonge and that he was overly annoyed with his bizarre claims. It never comes to screams or shouts, but it's clear that Rogan is simply humoring his guest.
So how would they manage this then? These regular dudes without access to communication like you have, how have they managed to disseminate this information and sort of confuse everybody?
This was seemingly confirmed in a later episode with Kristen Ball and Sejar and Jetty, in which Rogan jokingly claimed that something's wrong with DeLonge. Number 14.
I think something would be. Here's the thing. I'm just going to be blunt. If you're going to make substantial claims, you got to bring evidence, bring receipts. I can't say, it's so funny. People love to make claims to things that they can't prove. It's kind of like, let's just take a relationship. Your spouse basically tells you that he or she says that that you must be cheating on them. So the first thing that you as a woman and you as a man is going to be like is, okay, I know I'm not, but why do you even think that? Well, I just know you are. Okay. So think about that for a second. Think about if you're in that scenario where you're sitting here getting accused of something. You're going to, as a normal human being, gonna be like, okay, so why do you think that? What evidence do you have to prove that? And they just say, oh, I think that. I mean, listen, you can't blame, and even again, bring receipts, bring photos. I mean, okay, let's keep
Brian
going.
Redband. From the show's premiere in 2009 to 2012, the Joe Rogan Experience was produced and semi-hosted by Brian Redband. Unfortunately, he went out on a bit of an awkward note. Redband had a penchant for interrupting, and in this case, it got him in trouble. Near the end of number 415 with Justin Foster, Redband brings up some positive reception that he recently received for his stand-up. Rogan saw this as bragging, resulting in some long and awkward bickering between the two. Foster does what he can to diffuse the palpable tension, but there's no hope, and the argument carries on far longer than it needs to. It wasn't long after this that Redband was permanently replaced by Jamie Vernon. Number 13.
Okay, that
Brian
sounds childish.
Callen. Comedian Brian Callen frequently collaborates with Joe Rogan, but that doesn't stop them from bickering like a married couple. The conversation turns to schoolyard jerks, and Callen makes some bold claims about what he'd do in this position. Rogan and guest Brendan Schaub immediately gang up on him and call out his faux tough guy persona.
Here's the problem. You've talked to too many guys that let you say shit like that, and then it becomes like vernacular.
Rogan and guest Brendan Schaub immediately gang up on him and call out his faux tough guy persona. They lovingly but firmly tell him to cut out the theatrics, and Rogan makes the argument that he's been hanging out with too many toxic people that have warped his beliefs. It's 3 straight minutes of Rogan and Schaub ripping into Callen and completely dismantling his ego.
You do. You hang out with a lot of people that are such bullshit artists.
No,
and you don't.
My good friends.
Yeah, you know
people. Who I'm talking about.
You have friends that are bullshit artists.
Number 12.
Okay.
Andrew Hill. Episode number 629 hosted neuroscientist Andrew Hill. And like many...
Listen, I've had people come at me, call me out and stuff, so... But usually, again, got to bring receipts. So, I don't know.
Many episodes of the podcast, the conversation turned to fighting. They debate the merits of Aikido, a Japanese martial art that is practiced in well over 100 countries around the world.
That's reality. This shit doesn't work. And it's a beautiful art to practice. It looks cool, but it's like as far as like efficacy and actual grappling against, I just think as far as an actual martial art, it's one of the least effective in real practice.
Rogan argues that it's one of the least effective martial arts,
okay,
whereas Hill
fair.
claims that it has other benefits beside direct hand-to-hand combat. This results in quite a fierce debate, and while it never gets confrontational, it's clear that neither side is backing down from their firm beliefs. It's an inherent clash of personality and opinion, and it's very clear that Rogan doesn't put much stock in what Hill is saying.
You're buying some mumbo jumbo, pal. I think they got you.
Maybe they do. Maybe I've been indoctrinated.
Number 11.
I don't see nothing wrong. It seemed like to me, you just have... Okay. Here's a problem that I see. I'm not going to go into any further, because we get on to 20 minutes. What I see a lot of is, I hope this isn't the case, but what I have noticed is that when men have opinions, it gets construed somehow as misogynistic, narcissist, whatever buzzword y'all like to use. You know, for the most part, it looks like he has his own opinion, which it seems like his opinion is more realistic. It seems like he's a more logical, realistic guy that... If you're going to make substantial claims, you got to bring receipts and back it up, right? Nothing wrong with that. And even the debates, you're going to have debates. Okay. Now, I've never been on a debate team. Now, I have seen a debate team, and I've seen people debate. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't understand debates, and so a lot of people view arguments as, again, misogynist or mean or whatever, like I said, buzzword you want to put on it. To me, debating is just what it is debating, right? You gotta bring receipts, you gotta bring facts to your arguments that you're gonna make. Simple. There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with what's going on with this guy. Maybe I need to look into like more relationship stuff. Is there some stuff that he said relationship wise? Let's take a look. Joe Rogan and Danica Patrick. What women don't understand about men. Okay. Ask Joe Rogan for marriage advice. Is he married? Okay. How dating apps work these days in simulation. Okay. Probably online dating. Let's watch this one with Danica Patrick.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
This is a clip.
Testosterone makes you do really stupid shit.
Does it?
Yeah,
Like what?
yeah. Well, they're all competing against each other and they're trying to out macho each other. I mean, you could go. There's a bunch of Twitter accounts you can go and see. What's that one? Hold this beer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a Twitter account called Hold My Beer.
Mm-hmm.
While I do what?
Well, exactly. While I do everything.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
like people
Doing dumb
jumping off
stuff.
roofs.
If y'all listen, if y'all haven't, this go on Google, do hashtag Hold My Beer. These are people that just be doing stupid ass shit, and these are men. These are not women. These are men doing stupid ass shit. They don't care nothing about their damn life. They're just doing whatever. They don't care. They live or die. Go look it up. So yeah, he's right. Testosterone actually does make you. That's why you can't. That's why you have to have a balance in your system. Not equal balance, but you need to have at least some sort of balance. You can't have all testosterone. First off, you would die if you had all testosterone. But again, you kind of would do that. But that's true.
And
Oh.
stupid
It's science.
shit. It's almost all men.
Yeah.
There's occasionally a drunk girl doing something stupid, but it's almost entirely men.
Yeah.
So I would think that men trying to out
Are
macho
you
each
saying
other.
men are somewhat inferior then? Because they do a lot of dumb stuff? Maybe their hormones are not in balance like ours?
They definitely, when competing against each other,
Yeah.
will do dumb shit.
Yep.
You think that's a
and they try to-
testosterone?
yeah.
Testosterone's to
That's
blame.
what that
Well, they
does.
try to out macho each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some don't. Some are smart and they don't. But, it's just a part of being a man. It's like trying to prove that you're not scared.
What else is part of being a man? Tell me about men.
Well, what do you want to know?
I don't know. What else is very manly that women don't understand? What
Let me let it play.
what don't women understand about men?
That's a good question. I have no idea what you understand about us.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Maybe just speak from experience.
Yeah, but I don't know what.
Like if we ask a guy, like, what's wrong?
Oh, see, that's just nonsense talk. See, that's the.
Like,
What's
how many
wrong?
girls out there are like, honey, what's wrong?
What's wrong?
And you're like, nothing.
Sometimes
But
it's nothing.
really, is it really nothing?
Yeah, sometimes you just want to like decompress.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, he's right. Like if y'all ask a man, if you're in a relationship and you ask your man, hey, what's wrong? We're gonna say nothing. You know what's so funny? I get a lot of women who will like, I'll just be sitting there chilling. They're like, well, what's wrong? Like, nothing. Well, you're not talking. So in order for me to have nothing wrong with me, I gotta talk 24/7, apparently. Didn't know that. But no, seriously. I would literally be chilling. Well, you ain't saying nothing all day, or you ain't do that. I'm like, can I just wake up and not do anything or say anything. Like, what does that got to do? I mean, like I said, I don't get it. And when we say that, it's like they want to argue, trying to like tell us that something is wrong, and we're not. Like, nothing is wrong. And then another thing that women need to understand too, a lot of men, I don't know if he's going to say this, but a lot of men, even if there is something wrong, we're not going to sit there and bitch. True men are not going to sit there and just bitch and complain about it. We're going to we are designed to solve our issues. So we're going to solve and resolve our issues. We're not going to really complain about it too much. Unless it has something to do with you directly. Okay, so, I mean, nothing wrong.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you just wound
So
up.
is that annoying when a girl does that?
Depends on the girl.
Yeah, it does. It really is.
What do you mean?
It depends on the girl. If she's annoying, yeah, it's annoying. But if you're in love with her and she's awesome,
Then she
and
can
she's
ask
like, "What's
anything you
wrong?"
want.
You're like, "Oh, nothing. We're good." Yeah,
Yeah.
It depends
So
entirely.
be with the right one?
Well, I should say that it's annoying if you keep asking, then you keep trying to convince us something is wrong. That's annoying.
Oh, 100%. That's 100% it. Yeah, if someone's asking you questions and you're getting really fucking annoyed, it's probably not the question. It's probably more the person. If you think someone's
true.
amazing and they ask you something stupid, you'll just laugh. You won't get annoyed.
Yeah.
And you guys could both joke around about how stupid it was, how the question was dumb.
I like it. That's good.
If you get angry, it's most likely you're just like
Annoyed
you're
anyway.
incompatible. Yeah.
So you're just like ready to sort of fall over that annoying and to get out of my space kind of attitude because you're
Yeah.
already annoyed with them anyway. You already
Well,
don't really like them.
Yeah, there's probably something that's already rubbing you the wrong way and you're tolerating each other instead of enjoying each other. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine a person like you, a very intense person, you probably have a difficult time finding, you know, like if you get a square peg and a square hole and everything slides in together perfect and everything's amazing personality-wise, you know, behavior-wise. I would imagine with someone like you, like it's very particular. You have to find someone who appreciates your intensity. Right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of times guys they want a demure, you know, sort of like docile little creature. Like, oh, hi. How you doing, boys?
Whatever you need, I'll be home.
Well,
Supper's on the table.
We'll be here when you get back. Right? And meanwhile, you're out there with a fucking go-kart going 150 miles an hour in the driveway.
Yep. Running 5 businesses.
Yeah,
and, you
yeah.
know,
You're
going 200.
Yeah. So if you're saying what's wrong, the guy's like, fucking nothing. It's probably a bunch of other shit that's really wrong.
It's very insightful.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So what don't men understand about women?
Hey, let's hear this.
She's tapping her fingers and going through it, everything.
I mean, I just think that we like to be, we like to be told what you're thinking. I do. I like to know what someone's thinking. You know, the whole, like, we're just, just keeping to myself. Like, tell me about it. And I want to know what yourself is thinking about. I want to know about you. What's going through your head. Like, communication.
Now, is this universal amongst all your girlfriends when you get together and talk about...
I would think so, yeah. Yeah.
So the problem is, like, you look at a guy and say, you really like this guy, and you're like, this fucking dude's some crazy mystery. Like, what's going on in your head, man?
Yeah, that's not good.
Spit it out.
Everyone wants to know where they stand and what someone's thinking.
Oh, where they stand.
Well, and where they stand and what they're thinking. Because, what if they're thinking about someone else?
Oh, he's good. Because I almost was thinking, I'm like... Well,
oh, so you need to know.
And if they're, yeah, you just
I need to know if you're all in.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm just an all-in person, so for me, it's not a mystery. Like, you want to know what's going on in my head? I'll tell you right now.
That's intense. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, if a guy's, like, off drifting, you automatically assume, this motherfucker's thinking about somebody else.
Yeah, what are you up to? Exactly, that's what you're thinking. Yeah, exactly. You want to be able to ask.
I guess guys probably do that, too.
And
But
girls like to
sitting
hear
there-
nice things, too. Girls like to hear, girls like to be, girls like...
Of course.
To be appreciated, just like a guy does. I mean, I think that's my advice most of the time in relationships. I'm like, sympathy goes a really long way because I know it goes a long way with me no matter what facet of my life it is. But
I'm confused. What does that got to do with, because she's kind of, I'm confused. So, You want to know what a guy's thinking every hour on the hour because you want to make sure that you know where you stand because it shows appreciation. Is that what I'm getting out of this? There's too many, there are things that are not connecting. I'm confused. You want to know what I'm thinking right now. So if I sit there and you ask me what I'm thinking, I'm like, well, I'm actually thinking about what's going to happen next in this, what she's going to say next. Does that give you, at that point, does that say, oh, okay, so I guess he does want to be with me? Like, I'm confused. I don't get it. Some of these conversations, this is why I don't watch podcasts. Well, it's kind of the reason why I can't,
But, sympathy goes a long way. So,
we
if
just
your husband's in a bad mood, then why don't you just
to-
actually start off with, instead of feeling like you're underappreciated, going, hey, baby, you look like you've had a really long day, and I'm sure you've been working
wanting to know
your
what
butt
someone
off. Like,
thinks
what can
to
I
feeling
make you dinner? Like, what do
unappreciated.
you want? What's your favorite? And they'll probably go, oh, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. You know what, babe, I'm fine. Hey, let me take you out to dinner. I get to eat. The sympathy gets sympathy back. And you don't, it's not good to do it to get it necessarily, but you should really feel like you are sympathetic. Like, if they're in a bad place, try and help them.
That's sound advice.
Yeah.
Be nice to each other.
Just sympathy.
Just be nice.
Because most people go underappreciated, especially in a relationship. I think the longer it goes, there's a lot of underappreciation and assumptions that get made about who does what and checks that box off. And
and people
it's
get
probably
used
especially
to
with
each
kids,
other.
right? I mean, I'm sure with kids it gets way worse.
It's just there's a lot of time that's involved with taking care of those little suckers. You gotta pay attention to them and talk to them, and if you have more than one, like once you start talking to one, the other one
both of them just like went from his topic and then jumped into something completely different. I don't know what the hell. I got so confused. I'm sitting here trying to figure out, well, why is it so important to, if a man says that he's not thinking about nothing and he tells you what he's thinking about, how does that, we just went all off topic. All off topic, peeps.
wants to just chime in, and show you what they're doing. And
You're
then
like, wait,
gotta,
I was
hang
busy
on a
just trying to make sure
second.
you don't die.
Yeah.
And now I got to deal with this?
Yeah. Yeah, I think people get used to things, and that's a part of the problem.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this. Again, maybe I need to talk to her about this because I don't see nothing wrong with the guy. I mean, pleasant conversation. There's nothing that he's saying that's incorrect. Everything's been facts. Everything's been wrong. I mean, nothing's been wrong. Even the last video that I reacted to, it's just normal debating and conversations. I mean, so I don't know. I don't know, peeps. Anyways, he got an A in my book, but again, I don't see anything wrong with people who watch him. I think it looks like a nice podcast. It's no different from the stuff I watch, honestly. So, all right, peeps, I'm out. Y'all take care. Peace, and I am gone.